Hi students, in this video we are going to discuss about angle of deviation produced by prism. A prism is a triangular block of transparent glass. It is bounded by three plane faces. Its one face is rough, which is called as base of the prism. The other two faces are polished, which are called as refracting faces of prism. The angle between the two refracting surfaces is called as angle of prism. We know that light travels in the straight line in the air medium. If the same light ray is allowed to pass through the glass prism, that will experience the refraction. Due to the refraction, the light ray is deviated from its path. Without prism, the light ray travel in the straight line. In the presence of prism, the light ray will experience the refraction and the refracted ray forms there. So there will be a deviated ray. Here this straight line represents the light ray which is traveling in the air medium. If a glass prism is placed in the path of light ray, the light ray will experience the refraction. Due to that refraction, that will be deviated as shown here. There are two light rays. This light ray is known as undeviated light ray. Here the second light ray is known as deviated light ray. The angle between the undeviated light ray and the deviated light ray is known as angle of deviation D. Let us find the angle of deviation produced by prism. Consider a prism ABC. The faces AB and AC are polished and the face BC is rough. Let the light ray PQ is incident on one of the refracting faces of the prism. In the diagram, the light ray PQ is incident on the polished surface AB. To find the angle of incidence and angle of refraction at the first surface, we have to draw the normal. Here I have drawn the normal. The angle between the incident ray and the normal is known as angle of incidence. Let us note down that as a I1. If there is no prism, that incident light ray PQ travels in the straight line. But in the presence of a glass prism, that light ray will experience the refraction. Since the light ray enter into the denser medium from the rarer medium, the refracted ray will bend towards the normal. Here I have drawn the refracted ray. So this dotted line represents the undeviated ray, but in the presence of glass prism, that ray is deviated. Now we can represent the angle of refraction. So it is a refracted ray. The angle between the refracted ray and the normal, only known as angle of refraction. Let us take that as a R1. Here I have included the another one point R. So the path of the light inside the prism is QR. At the point R, light once again enter into the air medium. The point R, that light ray will experience another one refraction because it travel from denser medium to rarer medium. To find the angle of incident and the angle of refraction at the second phase, we have to draw the normal. Here I have drawn the normal to the second phase AC. The two normals which are represented by the dotted lines are meet at the point N. Here the angle between this refracted ray inside the prism and the normal of the second phase can be taken as R2. Here this light ray is travel in the denser medium. That means it is inside the prism. At the point R, that will come out of the prism. It is going to travel in the air medium. So it's going to travel from denser medium to rarer medium. Then what will happen to the refracted ray? That will move away from the normal. Here I have drawn the another one light ray RS, which is deviated away from the normal. This light ray RS is known as emergent ray because it emerged out of the prism. Now I have extended the emergent ray. The extended incident ray and the extended emergent ray meet at the point M. The angle between the directions of the incident ray PQ and the emergent ray RS is called the angle of deviation D. The external lines meet at the particular point M. Here an angle is made, that is only known as angle of deviation D. A is the angle of the given prism. Let us summarize this. We have taken the glass prism and I am going to allow the light ray to incident on the one of the refracting surface. If there is no prism, the light ray travel in the straight line. Because of the prism that will undergoes refraction, since this light ray enter from the air medium to glass medium, it will experience refraction that will move away from the normal. The light ray will experience another one refraction because here it is traveling in the denser medium. Once again that has to enter into the rarer medium, so that will move away from the normal. So path will be like this. Actually there is no prism, the light ray travel in this direction. Because of the presence of this prism, light ray is traveling in this direction. Now we have to find the angle between that undeviated ray and the deviated ray. That is only known as angle of deviation D. So what is the angle of deviation? It is the angle between the incident ray and the deviated ray. At the point Q, it is a undeviated ray. Here it is a deviated ray. That means extension of incident ray and the refracted ray. Here only first deviation is taken place. So here you can note down that as a D1. Likewise at the point R, another one deviation is taken place because the light ray which is traveling in a straight line is deviated at the point R. So there also we can note down the angle of deviation. At the point R, the angle of deviation is the angle between the extended emergent ray and the first refracted ray. So let us take that as a D2. Let us find the angles of deviation at the point Q and the point R. The angle of deviation D1 at the surface AB is given by angle RQM. So angle RQM is equal to angle of deviation D1. With respect to angle of incidence and angle of refraction, how can we write? Here we have noted that as a I1. Here the opposite angles will be equal. So here also the entire angle will be equal to I1. We need the value of D1. For that, from this greater angle I1, we have to subtract the angle R1. So D1 can be written as I1 minus R1. Here I have told RS is the emergent ray. So angle between the normal and the emergent ray is known as angle of emergence, which is given by the letter I2. Here we have noted down that angle as I2. So the opposite angle will be equal to I2. That means from this external line to normal, that is also will be I2. Now we can write the angle of deviation at the second surface AC. That means we have to write the value of D2. So here angle QRM, that is equal to angle of deviation at the second surface, which is given by the letter D2. Like a previous case, we can write how we can find the value of D2 with respect to angle of emergence and angle of refraction. So from this greater angle I2, we have to subtract the R2. Then remaining angle you can find. So it can be written as I2 minus R2. What we have to find? We have to find the angle of deviation produced by this prism. So here angle of deviation is there. So in this triangle QRM, the angle of deviation D is the exterior angle. We know that already. In the triangle, exterior angle is equal to sum of the opposite interior angles. For this exterior angle D, which is the opposite and the interior angles D1 and D2. So we can write angle of deviation D, that is equal to sum of the interior angles D1 and D2. Already we have found the value of D1 and D2. We can substitute the two values in this expression. D, that is equal to D1 is I1 minus R1 plus, what is the value of D2? I2 minus R2. We can rearrange this equation. D, that is equal to I1 plus I2. Minus can be taken as a common. So R1 plus R2. Let us consider the quadrilateral AQNR. In the quadrilateral AQNR, sum of the four angles is equal to 360. We know that the total angle in the quadrilateral is equal to 360. So first angle is angle of prism A. The second angle is formed at the point Q. Third angle QNR. Fourth angle is formed at the point R. Here angle formed at Q and point R are equal to 90 degree, because at the points Q and R we have the normal. So angle at the point Q 90 degree, angle at the point R is also 90. So 90 plus 90, 180. That 180 can be taken to right side. 360 minus 180 is equal to 180. So remaining thing can be written here. Angle of the prism plus angle QNR is finally equal to 180. Let us take the triangle QNR. We know that sum of the total angles in any triangle is equal to 180. So in the triangle QNR, first angle R1 plus the second angle QNR plus the third angle R2 must be equal to 180. So let me write here. Here you can compare these two expressions. So right hand side is same. So left hand side should be equal. So angle A, angle at QNR is equal to R1 plus R2 plus angle QNR. They both can be cancelled. So finally you can write angle of prism A, that is equal to sum of the two angles R1 and R2. Already we have derived the equation for angle of deviation. There we have R1 plus R2. So instead of R1 plus R2, we can substitute angle of prism A. So angle of deviation D, that is equal to I1 plus I2. So instead of this value R1 plus R2, we are going to substitute the angle of prism A. From this expression, we can conclude the angle of deviation depends on the angle of incidence I1 and the angle of emergence I2 and the angle of prism A. But for the given angle of incidence, the angle of emergence is decided by the refractive index of the material of prism. Hence, the angle of deviation for monochromatic light depends on the angle of incidence and the angle of prism and the refractive index of the material of the prism, because that refractive index of the material only decides the angle of emergence.